Hello everyone. Let's look at regex in Rust. Regular expressions. Sure you're all familiar with them. This is going to be an example where I started looking at the advent of code day 3 and the instructions have been jumbled up. That was the challenge. So they provided some gobbledygook data that you had to extract something useful from. So the first thing I did was, after looking at the AOC challenge, copied the example, not the full data, just example, and I pasted it into Regex 101. And I actually built that without using ChatGPT. So this is about writing the regex, regular expression, and also using it. So I thought I was in the clear once I'd written the expression, but actually using it in Rust is also something else to learn. And to get what you need, you actually have to use as stir and toString. So it disregards the position. I'll show you what I mean in a second. If you like these videos, some thumbs up, subscribe, blah, 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 all that. Suggest any future video ideas if you've got any. So let's look at the code. And this line here is pasted in from event of code. And this was the sample. And then they explained that only the 4 highlighted sections. So they only wanted 2 times 4, 5 times 5, 11 times 8, 8 times 5. So anything else you need to disregard. So this is a string slice, let data equals, and then it's exactly the same as that. Use regex, then capital R there, remember. So this is the expression that I worked out in regex 101. I don't know if it's perfect, but it works. I spent a while trying to actually work out how to include greedy, because if you look at the regex 101 and you go to the Rust example, there was something like this on the end. But actually it was after that, and I was thinking, well, how can I have the expression and then do /g, and then it just didn't make sense. But after a bit of Googling, it transpired that you don't use greedy here. You iterate over it later on with, as you can see here on this line, captures underscore iter. So this is something that is particular to regex. You might think, oh, you probably know iter, into iter, and iter mute, but this captures underscore iter is something that's unique to regex. So I started to write a function, and then I was basically passing in the regex and the data. So I made an empty vec, and then I build the vec as I iterate over captures. Sorry, as I iterate over the data using the regex. So it's a bit, to me, this is kind of, well, it's not back to front, but it's, you think you pass the data, go from right to left. So you take the data, iterate over it, and then you get the regex match. And then m.get, so for each element that you iterate over, get 0, so you get the first part of it. And this is the key thing here. So this whole video, the key part is this line really, because I'm not good enough, or I'm not here to explain regex. Big topic, finite automata and all that. It's computer science degree stuff. So this is the bit that you want to learn if you can take anything from this video. So without using this, I'll show you what you get. So without using as stir and toStr, this is what you see. So match, curly braces, start, end. So that's metadata. It's basically saying where the found item is by its position. You don't want that because what you want is something more like this. And this is what you get when you actually. So the second bit you saw was from here. The first bit you saw was there. So if you just print the match, that's what you get. And then when you do as string to stir, sorry, as stir to string. So this is particular to regex. When you use the string slice, it ignores any other non-string stuff. And once you've got that, you can then pass it. What I then did was use a string slice. So I ignored 0, 1, 2, 3. So then I went from 4 to up to length -1. So that allowed me to get 2, 4. And then I did a split using the comma, and then I had number 0 and number 1. I multiplied number 0 by number 1. I'll put a link in the video in the description to the solution that I did, which worked. I'm not saying it's pretty, but I also write a test, believe it or not. I think one of the good ways to do the Advent of Code challenges, if you're interested, is probably to write some tests first, and then you just go about satisfying those tests. I think test-driven development for Advent of Code is probably useful. So if the type supports as stir, like match, the result will only be the textual portion, and all the metadata or non-textual context will be disregarded. So just to go over it again, we're ignoring all of that and that. We ignore all of that and so on. So we end up just with this, which is what we want. To be honest, you probably could work out a better way of actually stripping off the null as well. But for the purposes of this video, this is about using the regex. So regex new, and then the R with the double quotes, then what you want to find, the pattern that you want to match on. You can see it returns a result, regex or error. And then down here, so we've got captures, haystack, match. So these are all types that you get from using regex. Hopefully that's given you something to think about, because it's useful to learn from other people, and a lot of videos on here now are just kind of AI or way too advanced. As good, as brilliant as they are, I think there's probably a gap in the middle for somebody who's kind of gone past the hello world kind of early stages. But using regex to solve a real world problem, Advent of Code. But there we go. That's how to use regex to pass some messy data and then extract only the text and disregard any non-text content. So you're matching, that's a string slice and then two string. So and then you push it onto a vec, and then that's what gives you your vec there. Enough talking from me. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and yeah, good luck with learning Rust. It's fun, but it's difficult. But if you write good code, then you've satisfied the compiler, and if you satisfied the compiler, then you're less likely to have problems further down the line. I know from previous experience writing Python code, it works for you, but then when it goes into production, there's issues, and you haven't found all the errors and so on. So I know I haven't caught all the errors here, but obviously this is just to satisfy the Advent of Code challenge. If you look at my GitHub example, I did a test, and yeah, you can use anyhow. Boxed in stud error, Or if you want to do it properly, use this error. But then you're getting into kind of fully blown production code, and this is Advent code. So thanks for watching. I'm back soon.